So how can you go from this to this in 15 seconds? Well, watch the video and hopefully you'll find out. So here I am on farm in southwest Scotland, and we've got just around 20 or 25 cows to do at this place. You can see me loading them in there. These cows are really well looked after. I love working here despite the facility being slightly older. It doesn't bother me much as long as I get the cows in nice and easy. You stay there. So as you can see, this claw is seriously overgrown, probably 5 inches overgrown I would say, and it's got a big curve in it. So she's not going to be walking on it well at all. The inside claw is actually slightly overgrown as well, but because the outside one's so overgrown, it looks like it's fine. Let's go ahead, get it trimmed up, and let's get this cow walking more comfortably. So as you can see, I'm just putting that little nozzle in there between the feet to make sure that I've got better access to that outside claw. As you can see, there's a massive difference between the claw before and after. You can see me using the palm of my hand to square up the claws because the deep flexor tendon is stretched, which is actually helping to let that outside claw bend down and look longer than it actually is. So I need to square them up with my palm of my hand just to make sure that they are indeed exactly the same length, which hopefully you'll agree they are. Time to let her go and see how she's actually walking on it. If we slow this right down, you can see she's walking almost perfectly on it. Her leg's been up in the air, so she's a little bit sort of tender from that, but she's sitting with her feet nice and flat on the ground, walking much more comfortably than she was before.
That to that, happy days.
Here's another one. As you can see, this one is very long as well. Probably, again, 4 to 5 inches long, but it's a slightly different shape. The shape of this actually indicates that she's got some sort of toe necrosis or problem in the toe. When the claw is low at the heel and long at the toe, it means that she's trying to take the pain or take the weight off the toe. So she's wearing the heel away, but the toe is not getting anywhere whatsoever, so it's been allowed to overgrow.
So obviously this foot was really overgrown. When they're overgrown like that and low at the heel, long at the toe, it usually means there's something wrong with the toe. And in this case, there definitely is. She's got toe necrosis. So I've stopped kind of halfway through the trim. I'm going to put a block on. Well, I'm actually going to put 2 blocks on. And I'm stopping halfway through to allow plenty of time for them to bond and dry so they definitely don't come off. I'm putting 2 on, one on top of the other, because I don't think if I put 1 on there'll be enough height to get that other claw completely off the ground. And they're orange plastic ones because this will be a long-term lameness issue, so we don't want to be putting on a block every month. Now while they're drying, I'll finish the trim. As you can see, there is a little bit of blood here, and it's more because I've touched it with the knife rather than actually cut it. Although obviously I have cut it very, 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 very slightly, otherwise there wouldn't be any blood. But make no mistakes, I am absolutely not trying to cut any live flesh at all. I'm just trying to remove the loose horn round about it so that hopefully it can regrow into a sound claw again.
So here's the after shot. As you can see, there is a little bit of blood on her toe from me grazing her with the knife, but I'm sure you'll agree this cow is going to be far, far more comfortable than she was before. Let's see how she walks on it.
Well, last, does that feel better? Yeah?
That claw, that digit, is completely off the ground now. When she walks, it doesn't even mark the ground. As you'll see, she's not walking perfectly because obviously she's been lame for quite some time, but she is bearing complete weight on both of those back feet now, and she's steady and ready to go.
Look at that, just do a video the other day about how I hurt myself, but haven't hurt myself in quite a long time, and what do you know? Cow kicked a knife and it went straight across my thumb. Oh well, what is it they say? All bleeding stops one way or another. I'm sure it'll be fine. So as you've seen from the video, that cow there has toe necrosis. It's an extremely painful condition, which is usually chronic in cows, and if you ever want to really have a go at repairing it and giving the cow a good chance of like long-term survival, it's a very intensive process. So the best thing to do for that cow there would be, as you've seen, we've put a double block on, we've trimmed it fairly aggressively back, but we've tried not to remove any of the live flesh, and we've really given it a good dousing in iodine. The best thing to do now is leave it a week or so, pick it up again, give it a really good clean, just a spray with iodine, leave it another week, pick it up. If there's any loose horn starting to appear, then remove that loose horn and keep dousing it in iodine, and repeat the process maybe every 2 weeks. If you do that and make sure the block's well positioned and still in good sort of condition, then you stand a really good chance of actually making sure this cow recovers. The thing with toe necrosis is it usually starts at the coronet, so right at the hairline on the front edge of the hoof, if you like, so up the top of the front wall. And when you're trimming it, it looks like it's just at the toe, but in reality it's starting up at that hairline and progressing all the way down the inside of the claw. So you need to be fairly aggressive and remove the whole of that front wall if the wall horn is loose. If it's not loose, then you shouldn't be removing it. So my advice, if you've got cows with toe necrosis, double block it, aggressively trim her, as in make sure that all of the loose horn is completely gone, and trim right up that front wall if there's loose horn there. It usually does track all the way up the inside of the laminae, so those little kind of fins that I always go on about, right up to the hairline.
If you've got a lot of cows with this condition, it's usually because you've had a problem in the past or still may have a problem with dermatitis. If a cow has dermatitis on her front of her claw, right up at the hairline, the horn growth is deviated, and basically that starts a crack on the inside of the laminae underneath the wall horn, and it will track all the way down to the bottom. Slurry will get in, and the process of necrosis will start. Necrosis basically just means dead skin, tissue or bone. So basically the blood supply has been sort of compromised in some sort of way, and it's led to the death of the tip of the pedal bone, which is why we could actually trim it back so far. If you trimmed a normal cow's foot back that far, blood would be pouring everywhere. Anyway, we've helped this cow a lot. Hopefully we can get back in a few weeks time, trim her again, clean it again and dress it again with iodine and promote that healing process. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, all the people subscribing is really, really, really knocking me for six. It's so, so good that everybody is. So keep clicking it. If you haven't already clicked it, give it a click.